Which of the following ordered pairs are solutions to the system of equations graphed below? In a problem like this, your focus is to find the ordered pairs that are in the dark shaded region. Sometimes it's easier than others to determine that. In this case, this area I'm highlighting here is considered your dark shaded region. We've done our best on all homework notes, tests, and quizzes to make it look much darker than the other. But this region up here is lightly shaded. This is lightly shaded. This is our overlap section. So any of these ordered pairs that fall in this overlapped section are considered solutions. If we look to graph each of these points, 7 in my x, 8 in my y, is located up here. It's in a shaded region, but not the dark shaded region. Therefore, it's not in the overlap section. So this point is not a solution to the system. That point, in fact, would only be a solution to this inequality here, because that inequality is shaded above, but not to the second inequality with my dashed line, so it's not a solution to the entire system. 7, -8 is a similar situation. It's located down here. That one would be a solution to this shaded area of my dashed inequality, but not to the solid inequality. So that too is not a solution to the entire system. Part C, -2, 2, is the first one that is located here in my dark shaded region. This is the first point that we've seen then that, yes, it would be a solution to the entire system. Now, a couple of these are a little bit trickier. -4, -3, for instance, is located right there. Compare that to the point -1, 5, located right here. Those are tricky. They both actually lie directly on these lines. The major thing that we want to consider, though, this point lies on a dashed line versus this point lying on a solid line. Major difference there. If a point is on a solid line next to our dark shaded region, like -4, -3 is, then we consider that to be a solution. It's on the solid line. Whereas if that point is on a dashed line, no matter where it is on that dashed line, it is not a solution. Go ahead and see if you can figure out whether these are or are not a solution for G, F, H, I, and J. When you're done, so press pause now. When you're done, unpause to check your answers. So the ordered pairs there that are in our dark shaded region are 0, 3, -9, 0, and 0, 0. 8, 0, 2, -3 are not in the dark shaded region, therefore are not solutions to our system of inequalities. The last part of today is no different than the first part. However, we do have to recall how to graph vertical and horizontal lines for this. If I have just a y equals, there's no x involved at all, that's a horizontal line. This is going to go through 7 on my y-axis. The second thing you do have to consider here is if I'm going to put a solid or a dashed line still. Since this is a less than, I have to put a dashed line that goes through 7 on my y-axis. So I graph that dashed line. And I shade. Less than on my y-axis is below. So in this case, I'm shading below y equals 7. equals was our vertical lines. X is greater than then is also vertical, since X is supposed to be greater than 2 here. It's not an or equal, so I will graph this as a dashed line. Prior to today, we would have graphed this as an open circle, shade right. We're doing the same thing, except our open circle becomes this dashed line, but I'm still shading to the right. Hopefully we can already see my overlap section then is in this area here. And that's the area I would shade in. Number 2, the only difference is that I have one horizontal line. Y is less than or equal to -2. Therefore, I go to -2 on my y-axis. The or equal to means I do graph a solid line this time, all the way through. Less than is still below, just like we've been doing. The second one is not vertical or horizontal, though. This is a slope of 1 with a y-intercept at 0, 0 at the origin. So there's my y-intercept. My slope is 1, that's 1 over 1. And it's a greater than symbol. So here's my slope. This is a dashed line. I will graph all the way through my coordinate plane to make sure I don't miss any overlap sections. Put my arrows on there. And this is a greater than. So this one is shaded above. And I already saw exactly where my two sections overlap. I'm above this one and below this one. That's this overlap section down here. So, summary. You have to graph both inequalities on the same coordinate plane. You have to shade. Your overlap section for shading is the dark shaded area. That is where your solutions lie. If your solution is on a dashed line, it is not a solution. On a solid line, it is if it's bordering that dark shaded region. Also, look out for some vertical lines and horizontal lines. Y equals is horizontal, X equals is vertical. When you're done with your notes and you have everything filled out, show the sub, and they will get you your homework.